Alright, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name is Elliott and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today we're going to be answering your comments and questions, going through everything you guys want to know. Right now, it's still a very good time to buy skis. There are a ton of last year's inventory where the ski manufacturers, in many cases, have not made any changes. They've literally just put a different top sheet on it. That's because ski development is expensive. People know what they like. Ski companies don't tend to revamp their skis very frequently. Now, the frequency depends on the ski company, yada yada. But long story short, you can buy some really cheap skis right now. And so for me, you know, if I was the mega influencer, I would, okay, I'm gonna recommend 2025 skis all the time. But the truth is, I don't buy skis that way. I buy last year's skis with the old top sheet so I can get a better deal. And again, maybe I'm not a good influencer, but I care about you guys. I want you to get a good deal. I don't recommend things I wouldn't buy myself. So without further ado, let's jump into your questions and comments. So if I can answer your questions, I can help you make your purchases now before the prices go sky high. And I just feel like it's a good way to give back to you guys. Without you guys, I wouldn't have this YouTube channel. I don't make a tremendous amount of money doing the YouTube channel, but that's not why I do it. I do it because I really enjoy it. I really enjoy how nice you guys are. I really like helping people. So to me, honestly, this is the fun part, interacting with you guys. So let's just jump right into it. All right, the first comment comes from Carlos3240. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna reply to like people who are actively in the community. But first, I'm gonna reply to some hater comments because I always find them kind of funny. Okay, Carlos3240 on New Schoolers Has Lost a video. This has the vibes of a road biker in Lycra moaning about how a downhill bike would be too heavy for their use. You said it yourself, you don't do much touring, you don't ski in the park, you don't do free ride. Wait, I do free ride skiing. Like off trail in the woods skiing? No, I just don't do freestyle skiing. Okay, anyway, these guys are just trying to have some fun. Don't be so dogmatic. Also, New Schoolers community has been there for over 25 years. It's a part of skiing history by now. Even though you come from a race background, there are other ways of approaching the mountain. Shock and horror, carving might not be the main priority. Someone skiing 50-50 park off-piste would of course consider this when buying a new pair. Although I will credit you taking a lesser dogmatic approach and saying they might enjoy carving if they try to narrow ski. As an aging park rat, I'm willing to extend my hand by saying yes to me. It's a typo, I think. Carving is also fun. Skiing is about having fun after all, isn't it? That's a great point. The point of the video wasn't to like totally trash on New Schoolers. In fact, if you watch the whole video, I talk about how I thought they did a pretty good job assessing all the skis. All of those powder skis that I skied on, I thought they were very accurate in their assessment. So it is funny, I got a lot of hate comments, and I even found like someone had sent me a New Schoolers thread about me, which is funny. Actually, one of the guys I skied in high school with locally in Burke Mountain, there's not a lot of like Burke locals, but he's a local and he was like, hey, this guy really skis. But Carlos, going to your comment, okay, why am I taking it so seriously? Maybe people don't care about carving. Well, that's fine, but in their review, they talked about how the skis carve. I'm literally just replying to their carving assessment and saying, okay, if you're not loading the downhill ski, you're not gonna get a very accurate portrayal of their carving. I didn't say their whole review was bad. I didn't, you know, they understand things about freestyle skiing that I don't, and I have no ego in that. I'm okay saying, hey, when it comes to park skiing, I don't know anything. Like, honestly, I understand very, very little when it comes to that domain. But they're the ones that brought up how the skis carve, 1. 2, they labeled it the best all mountain skis, and there are just better all mountain skis out there for the majority of people shopping for all mountain. Now, here's what I think actually happened. I think that they saw, wow, all mountain is a very heavily searched area because a lot of people buy all mountain skis. There's probably heavy search volume, so whoever was in charge of their SEO was like, let's make it all mountain. That being said, I didn't think they did a bad job. They really honed in on super wide all mountain skis, and so I think there was a little bit of 1, mislabeling, and then 2, they're the ones that brought up carving. You don't want to talk about carving, don't bring it up. I'm literally just replying to their carving. Other than that, it's not that serious. It's just me trying to like say, okay, I've reviewed these skis as well, here's how my insight compares. At the end of the day, what we're all trying to do is just review skis and give people an understanding of the ski. And if you look at these videos, other than like kind of the title and thumbnail that gets people interested, what I'm really trying to do is compare notes in a way, and honestly, new schoolers did a very good job. They were very intuitive on the powder and flotation, and I thought it was a pretty good review overall. It was a lot better than most of the stuff out there. My only critique was, hey, these are very wide for the all-mountain category. The majority of people buying all-mountain skis are really buying 88mm to 95mm width underfoot, and it's a little bit mislabeled. And when they started talking about carving, they went in a little over their head as far as knowledge. But overall, I didn't think it was a bad review by any means. So it is funny seeing all the new schoolers. The video did very well. Like, is just a very hate-fueled statistic when I see it on my YouTube. But just know, if you actually watch the video, I give these guys a lot of credit, and I'm only critiquing the part where they're talking about carving. I'm not saying that they don't know what they're talking about. And as far as not knowing about new schoolers, like you said, I've been in the racing and free ride area and powder skiing and tree skiing. I haven't had any need to go on new schoolers, and I don't know, maybe I just live under a rock, but I wasn't familiar with them. But, I mean, from what I can see when it comes to assessing powder and tree skiing, they do a good job. Man, these hate comments are kind of fun. Let's do another one. Okay, John Klaus 9111 says, wait, you criticized the Enforcer 100? Respect docked. One could say, and I will, that it is and has been the best all-around East Coast and travel anywhere ski on the market. Sales, user reviews, my personal experience as well, other competitors when they don't think they're being quoted, all point to this fact. I don't think they ghosted you so much as lost respect for you. What a funny comment. I love it. And then they replied to themselves before I replied a day ago. Regrets? Question mark. God, what a drama queen. My God. Or king, drama queen, whatever. This is so funny. My God, so theatrical. Okay, I replied to this a few minutes ago, but I do think it's funny, and I'm gonna reply to it now. No, I didn't like the Enforcer 100. I thought that it was just a little too stale. I do think that there is a set of people that would like it, where you're, instead of loading the ski all the way through and then standing off of the tail and jumping to the next turn, whereas if you're one of those skiers that likes to kind of throw your edges and then let them set, and then throw them again and let them set, I think for that style of skiing, it works well. But for me, as far as skis go, I felt like the 2024 Nordica Enforcer 100 was just so long in the tooth. They spent a decade not making any meaningful upgrades. It felt stale. The design honestly felt pretty long in the tooth. It's not like it was a bad ski, a dangerous ski. There are worse skis out there, but I just didn't like it. Whereas the 2025 Nordica Enforcer 99 that you can buy is a much better ski. It gives you way more energy out of the tail of the turn. It really like blends the dampness with giving you energy in the right parts of the turn. I love the Nordica Enforcer 99 for 2025 and beyond, but like, you know, that's how I feel about it with my ski style. But also, I don't think everybody skiing the Nordica Enforcer 100 was like fully carving on it. I think that if you're worried about like, okay, well, I want to like wash out my turns and I don't really care about that, maybe for some people that didn't matter. But for me, I didn't like it. The other thing is, I don't give a rat's butt if Nordica wants to send me skis or likes me or whatever. And if they lost respect for me. What a silly comment. If a ski company is worried that I'll have a negative opinion and they don't send me skis, they're not looking for a ski review. They're looking for promotion. They're looking for basically advertising. Ski reviews are supposed to be critical. You're supposed to say, hey, this is what I think the ski does well. Hey, this is what I think it is lacking. And here is overall where I think it fits. That is a real ski review. Everybody else who's just pumping up the ski and saying how great it was for a whole decade and, oh yeah, it didn't need any improvements, a decade was fine. That is a bunch of baloney. That's when you're not really looking for a ski review. You're looking for somebody to echo the opinions you have in your head, okay? And I think like being mature is also saying like, okay, Elliott can have a different opinion than me, but also I can recognize that we have different ski styles, etc. I say that all the time with the Ski Essentials guys. Hey, they like this, but I can see why they like this based on this ski style, etc. So I just want you to think critically for a minute. Do I like that Nordica or Blizzard or whoever won't send Elliott skis because he said something negative in the past about the skis? Do I really want a world where the only ski reviewers that get skis are people who hype them up and are positive about it? Just think about that for like a minute, because it is such a silly thing to think. It's so ridiculous. And when I talk negatively about something you don't like, then you'll be the first to cheer. Oh, Elliott, you really got curated there. This delusion of, if Elliott doesn't perfectly align with my opinions or my ski style, then everything is wrong. He's either all the way right or all the way wrong. And the truth is, there's nuance. And that's why all of my reviews are really long and really thorough, so that I can tell you, hey, I don't like this characteristic, but you may not care about that. So maybe this ski is a good value for you. A good example would be like the Black Crow's Octo and the Black Crow's Mirror's Core. I like the Black Crow's Octo more because it allows me to stand on the tail of the ski more than the Octo. The Octo is meant more for freestyle. It's got that break at the tail, and at certain angles, it doesn't create a good platform for me. But for a skier that doesn't care about high speeds, they just want short turn radius and freestyle, then the Mirror's Core is a better option for them. But if you're like, I want more carving and I don't care about freestyle, the Octo is a better option. Oh, I don't really care about being on the tail of the ski and carving. I really just want short, quick tree turns and slarvy turns, and I care about freestyle and ski and switch. Then the Mirror's Core is great for you. That's why I'm so in depth, so you can pick and choose which characteristics of the ski you actually care about. So anyway, thank you for commenting, I guess, and sorry I didn't reply within a few hours that you replied to yourself, and I have no regrets. And let's do something positive. Like, let's help somebody in our community. I mean, I guess maybe I'm being a hypocrite. I just said that you only want positive things, and here I am looking for positive comments. Maybe it's good that I'm looking for negative comments. Maybe I need a little taste of my own medicine. Okay. Okay, Ski Enthusiast X7L says, hi Elliott, my dad and I are gonna ski 5 to 7 mountains on the East Coast during early January. What mountains would you recommend? Okay, let me be clear. I will give you recommendations, but I have not lived in Vermont in a long time. I have not lived in Vermont since 2008, basically my entire adult life. I went back for a couple of years, but all in all, I really haven't been like around Vermont doing the circuits. The prime time of my skiing would have been like 2004 to 2008, when I was in high school, when I was traveling to Open USSA races and racing independently, when I was traveling with my high school team to races. So I did New Hampshire and Vermont circuits. That's kind of when I have the most knowledge. So it's hard. And then also Januaries in Vermont haven't been what they used to. It depends on what part of January you go to. Like if you go end of January, that's a lot safer than the beginning of January. I know that they've had like several Christmases now that weren't white Christmases. So I would take that into account. If it's end of January, you don't have to worry about snowmaking quite as much. If you go early January, you really want to pay attention to who has good snowmaking. 5 to 7 mountains on the East Coast. Let me just do this with my eyes closed. Also, Vermont's not a big state, but it's a pain in the butt to get everywhere. You can't just park one place. Like, a lot of mountains are just 2 hours apart. I grew up in East Burke, Vermont, and pretty much everything, no matter what, just seemed to be an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on where you went. Okay, places I would go, 5 to 7 mountains on the East Coast. Okay, go to Jay Peak first. Spend a couple days there. That's one of the more northern mountains, and that'll give you an idea of like rural Vermont, and they have some cool places that make your way down. You can hit up Burke. I like Burke a lot. It's had some rough years in the past. It seems to be struggling more and more. They've cut some weird trails. It could depend on the snow, but if there's good snow, you're passing through Burke anyway. Check it out. I love Burke Mountain, but it is more of like a racing hill, and it really is dependent on weather and how the snowmaking is. It used to be easy to recommend Burke. Now it's a little bit easier to recommend Jay and a little harder to recommend Burke. It's where I grew up. I've got a lot of sentimental value to it, but I could see somebody from just visiting might not get that same nostalgia that I'm getting. So, but definitely hit up Jay Peak. It's very cold there, so dress warmly, dress extremely, extremely warmly, and they have some really great terrain. It's a very high mountain, a very cold mountain, but if cold doesn't bother you, hit up Jay Peak. Okay, You got to do Stowe while you're in Vermont. It's kind of like a stereotypical area. It's expensive, but it is very nice. They have good skiing, really good grooming. The area, you can go and check out the Trapp Family Lodge, where the Von Trapp family is from, or whatever. I actually have some family that still is in that area. But anyway, check out Stowe. Stowe is probably, in my opinion, one of the best ski areas in Vermont. From there, where do you go? You have 5 to 7 places to check out. Okay, I've given you 3. Those are kind of my favorites. And then from there, you're doing more travel to get different places. Spend a couple days at Jay, spend a couple days at Stowe. Like, honestly, if I had 7 days to ski, I would probably do like 2 days at Jay, 2 to 3 days at Stowe. You've got Smuggler's Notch, which is connected, so maybe you could go check that out, but I do like Stowe better. Okay, where else would I go? You could tip into New Hampshire, go check out... I don't know if you really want my opinion that much, honestly. I'm not really a local anymore. I've been in Idaho so long. Yeah, what I would do is go into New Hampshire and check out some of those areas. I would also then go to Loon Mountain. Then you could also check out Attis, I think is really good. That gets you to 5. I'd go... If you're willing to go to Maine, go to check out Sunday River. If not, just skip it. That gets you to 6. If you want around 7... I don't know, it just depends on what you want too. Like, there are some places that have cool night skiing. You can go to Bretton Woods. It's not the best skiing in the world, but you get views of Mount Washington, and there's like a really cool hotel to stay out there called the Mount Washington Resort. If you're looking for like a historical kind of East Coast experience, I think that's cool. But really, I'm just gonna give you a handful. I would say like the must-sees in Vermont are Jay Peak, Stowe, Loon. Check out that New Hampshire area, like all through Franconia Notch. Go check out Cannon if you're curious about it. I don't love Cannon, it's very steep, very icy, but you may find that you like it. And honestly, I love Burke. I would go check it out. Not a lot of people have skied there. It's not like, it's not kind of that level of resort that Stowe is, but still good skiing overall. That's where I would go. If I was like taking someone from Idaho to Vermont to get the quintessential Vermont skiing, it would be Jay Peak, Burke, Stowe, Loon, New Hampshire, Attis. Hope that helps. Thanks so much for commenting. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of hate. Whenever I talk about East Coast mountains, I get a tremendous amount of angry comments. Oh, you missed this area, you missed this area. But I think for somebody who's not from that area, who's just looking to get the Vermont experience, I think Stowe and Jay Peak are kind of the top 2. Stowe because it's more resorty and you're getting like really a lot of good skiing mixed with the typical Vermont area. You're not far from Burlington. That's where a lot of the Vermont culture kind of is in that area. And then Jay Peak if you're looking for like a rural Vermont experience and some of the best skiing. I'm mixing in like just, you want to get a Vermont experience rather than trying to stretch yourself too thin. All right, the last comment comes from Paul Blickman. To my video, Why I Avoid Ski Demo Days, they say, but would you avoid buying demo skis? And the answer is no, not at all. I've owned demo skis. I had a pair of Stockli that were demo skis. I had a pair of Atomic Vantages that I think were demo skis. I've owned several demo skis over the years and they were fine. But I would avoid recommending people buy demo skis because I think that if you're really new to the sport, you have to be careful buying demo skis. Sometimes demo skis are in rough shape. It's like buying a rental car. You have to be really thorough and know what you're looking for. So if you're gonna buy a pair of demo skis, maybe take a friend with you who's really experienced. Maybe take anyone that you know that has shop experience or who has worked on their own skis because you wanna know what to look for. The big things you wanna look for are core shots in the base and rusted edges if you're on the East Coast or if they're old race skis, making sure that the edges aren't tuned down too thin because then there's not much left. When you sharpen, basically you're taking a little bit of the metal edge off. If there's not much left, it's impossible to sharpen them. And then you also want to buy demo skis from a reputable place where the bindings have been taken care of or they're going to be mounted properly to your boots. You can find some screaming deals on demo skis, but you have to be careful and know what you're getting yourself into. And I think that for some people who are really new to the sport, who are not going to grow out of their skis quickly, it's a good option to just get new skis versus demo skis. But man, you can get a screaming deal. But there's just like anything. It's like buying a used car. I've never owned a new car in my life ever, and I don't plan on it. I buy used Toyota or Lexuses or Hondas or Acuras, whatever. I buy used vehicles, but I go in with a scan tool. I'm really thorough. I know what I'm looking for. And it's kind of the same with skis. You can get a ton of value, a ton of really good deals if you know what you're looking for. Also, make sure that they're a good price. A lot of times I see it where demo skis at a local shop are more expensive than buying Evo's last year's top sheets. In my opinion, in that case, just do the math, like do some searching around. Sometimes it's a better deal just to buy it new, which is crazy to me. Didn't used to be that way, but there's some weird pricing. Same with Facebook Marketplace. People want like $400, $500, $600 for their used skis that are from like 2022, and I can buy them new on Evo for less than that. So just do some digging around, but just off like that one comment, no, I have no problem with buying demo skis. I've done it myself several times, but buyer beware. Make sure you know what to look for going into it. I hope that helped. Thank you. So anyway, that's the end of the video. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. I will also put links down below to all the skis we talked about and everything else that's relevant, and just deals I've found. I found a few pretty good deals since I like just passively ski shopping myself, so I will link those down below. I think I mentioned in one of the previous videos, but I found the Atomic Bent 110s had actually come down in price for Utah skis below Evo and backcountry. Evo does price match, so you can try that, but generally, there are some pretty good deals out there. As always, we have memberships you can join. That's a way to financially support the channel. You can always like and subscribe, share the video to people you think that it's relevant to. But as always, more than anything, just thanks for being here. Thanks for taking time out of your day to spend it with me and watch my videos. It means a ton to me, and I really appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.